Welcome to the Kentucky Derby Preview. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo, and we're going to preview the 136th running of the Kentucky Derby. The race is this Saturday at Churchill Downs, and the weather this week in Kentucky has been horrible. It's been raining almost every day since last Friday, and the track could come up wet again on Saturday, so be sure to check the weather reports on Saturday for accurate track conditions. Now, the Kentucky Derby, it is the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, as it's called. It's the granddaddy of horse racing, the Super Bowl, so to speak, and it's going to get a lot of action. You guys know me here from pregame.com as a sports bettor and handicapper, but I do bet the horses, and not only do I bet the horses, I also own racehorses. I've been in the racing and breeding business since 1986, so when it comes to the horses, I do feel I know what I'm talking about. The Kentucky Derby is a unique situation. You're going to get people betting the Kentucky Derby that normally do not bet horses because it's an event, and that's going to give you some overlay in odds. And you can actually check out a podcast that we did, Vegas Runner and myself, about this type of handicapping, where you've got the public playing the Kentucky Derby that normally doesn't, and you're going to get inflated win, place, and show pools and exotic wagers, and how you can take advantage of that. So be sure to check that out at pregame.tv. You'll be able to get all of my information. Now, let's talk about this Saturday's Kentucky Derby, and this is shaping up as a speed duel. And what does that mean? Well, it means closers and horses coming just off the pace are going to be where I feel the most logical winner is going to come from. Now, the horse that's getting all of the attention this week is the horse that drew the rail, Looking at Lucky. He leaves from post position 1. Looking at Lucky has Garrett Gomez on board, and this horse is trained by the well-known Bob Baffert, a very colorful horse trainer in the business. He's won the Kentucky Derby 3 times already and finished second in a 4th. On Saturday, he has the rail, and most people think that post position 1 is a good place to be. Well, it's not in the Kentucky Derby, especially when you have 20 horses in the field such as we have on Saturday. So many times horses that draw that 1 post position get buried down at the rail and never get to see the light of day and have a clean run to make their attempt at winning the Derby. Looking at Lucky does not have a lot of early gate speed, which means he's going to get off towards the middle of the pack, and as the horses from the outside cross over, he could end up getting pinched down at the rail. Now, it's funny that I mentioned getting pinched at the rail, because in Looking at Lucky's last start in the Santa Anita Derby, he got interfered with badly around the last turn. In fact, Garrett Gomez had to actually take the horse up abruptly, so he lost all momentum in the race, got the horse back in gear, and was able to come on and finish 3rd. A lot of people think that if he would not have been interfered with, he would have been able to beat Sydney's Candy, the second choice in the Kentucky Derby this year, who won the Santa Anita Derby wire to wire. Definitely Looking at Lucky would have been second. For sure, it would have been a closer finish for the win photo, but Sydney's Candy looked awfully impressive on the Santa Anita Derby. Moving along, do I think Looking at Lucky can win this race? He is definitely a major contender. I fear he's going to have road trouble, which makes him at this price not a great value, as he is the favorite. Sydney's Candy, the second choice. Again, he's coming from post position 20. Not a great place either. No horse has won from post position 20. Too many times you're going to have to use up too much horse early in the race to get into position. I will say this much: Sydney's Candy is training very well. He had a workout on April 17th, 5 furlongs in a blistering 59 4/5. Come back on April 24th on a sloppy track, went 6 furlongs in 1 minute and 11 seconds and 3/5. Another very good workout. Sydney's Candy is very sharp right now. The question is, will he have enough left in the tank when they turn for home? One of the reasons that's a concern is there is a lot of speed in this race. One of the speed horses in this race is the horse Conveyance, number 12. This horse is a horse that's going to be put on the front end. This horse has great early speed, and he has had sharp workouts. This horse is also trained by Bob Baffert, and the question is, with these sharp workouts, April 21st, 5 furlongs in a 58 3, and on April 27th, this horse went 5 furlongs in 59 4. Does Baffert really think Conveyance has a shot of winning this race, or is he in this race simply to be a rabbit for Looking at Lucky? Looking at Lucky would benefit from a fast early pace in this race, setting him up as a closer. So that is a question that you got to look at. Can Conveyance carry this distance? I say not. He has been dominating, winning 4 out of 5 of his career starts, but all of those were grade 3 or lower. He has no grade 1 wins. So Conveyance, although he will be a part of the early fractions, I don't think he has enough stamina to carry the distance. So let's look at a couple horses that have possibilities of pulling the upset in the Kentucky Derby, and one of them is Icebox, number 2. Icebox is coming into this race on a good note. I love the way they've prepped this horse, and he is coming off Florida Derby, where he soared from last to first in the stretch to get the win. Nick Zito is the trainer. Nick Zito, no stranger to long shots in the Kentucky Derby and in other big races. I like the way this horse is training. Very fast workout on April 23rd. Possibility maybe too fast. He might have taken some of the race out of the horse. April 23rd, 4 furlongs went in 46 2. The standard is for a sharp workout, if you go 12 seconds per furlong, he went 46 2. So definitely quick fractions for Icebox. This horse looks sharp and posed to make some noise in the Kentucky Derby. You might want to give Icebox number 2 some serious consideration at a price. Another long shot in the race is a filly, and that is really the only knock I can come up with on this horse, and that is number 11, Devilmaycare. This filly is coming into this race on a good note. She's coming off a nice win in her last race, her best race of her career. She is also coming in here sharp on the workout circuit. She went 5 furlongs on April 24th, 1 minute and a 5th over a sloppy track. Todd Pletcher could have put this horse in the Kentucky Oaks, had a much easier assignment racing in the Kentucky Oaks, but opted to go for the Kentucky Derby against the boys. Todd Pletcher is a sharp trainer, and I've got to respect the fact that he thinks this filly can go with the boys. You might want to look at Devilmaycare. This horse, definitely a horse to be reckoned with on Saturday. I like the horse's racing style. Races just off the pace in what I term as a stalker. A stalking horse is a horse that races just off the front runners. Generally, the second flight of horses running around 4th, 5th, or 6th. Close enough to be to the action, but far enough away to be not caught up in the early speed. As the speed burners start to come back to the pack, horses like Devilmaycare can make their move and get a jump on the stone-cold closers who may inherit traffic problems in the Derby. So looking at the Derby and summing things up, I think two strong long shot possibilities are number 2, Icebox, and number 11, Devil May Care. Give those horses consideration. Of course, looking at Lucky number 1 and Sydney's Candy number 20 are horses to be considered. I think they're going to have some problems, especially looking at Lucky from the rail with road problems. Looking for value in the Kentucky Derby. I haven't officially made my picks for the Derby. You can check that out on Saturday at the website. Just go to pregamepros.com and check out all of the packages available. I'll have my Kentucky Derby package available on Saturday along with my sports picks. Thanks for joining me for the Kentucky Derby preview. This has been a pregame.com podcast. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo. Best of luck on Saturday. Hope to see you in the winner's circle.